Recently, my lovelies, I had the great pleasure of performing a dramatic reading of the first ever Luca Levi fanfiction. And you seem to really enjoy it because collectively we thought that it was really accurate? He dared to look up, and with a hazy vision, he could now stare at the gentle eyes, the pleased smile of the man standing before him. Do we get the reveal? He felt small, but not inferior. And since then, a couple more fanfictions have been released, including one by a published author, which you all wanted me to read once more, so let's run it back. This will probably be the last fanfiction video in a while, but we may as well cover it because not only is it by a published author, this fanfiction is about myself and you. So let's do this. Alright, first things first. As always, I have to put myself in the correct mental state to do this. Okay, I think I'm ready. And as always, we'll go through the notes first. So it's mature, it's female, male. So to all the male viewers that want to put yourself in this situation, still nothing stopping you. Smut, fluff and smut, YouTube, kissy missionary, romantic Luca, comfort, Luca Levi, comforts, flop, reader. So many kisses. Also, 1,829 words. Oh my god. I'll obviously do a dramatic reading, and I'll give my opinions and impressions while we go through it. But holy shit, dog. You can use this as like an essay to apply to college. Sheesh. Flop into my arms. Luca Levi, ex-reader. By Hedonist Baron. Summary. A one-shot in which Luca Levi, God King of YouTube, comforts you after your attempt at content creation flops massively. Notes. I wrote this with so much respect for Luca. Luca, if you're reading this, you don't need to oil up, because I already glazed you so hard in this. I'm an actual published author, and yet here I am as a grown-ass adult, writing smut for the first time since I was 14 years old. Thanks, Luca. No. Thank you, Hedonist Baron. Cue the music. Let's do this. It was honestly embarrassing, the way your cheeks were burning with shame over something as simple as a low view count. Published author? Oh my god, it's a double entendre! Dude, I thought it was ass cheeks instantly, but no, it could just be regular cheeks. You were used to your videos not doing too well, but you'd always justified that with the fact that you put very little effort into editing them. This video was different though. You'd spent weeks working on this one. It was your magnum opus, the work you were proudest of, and still, you couldn't break 100 views. You knew it was difficult to be successful on YouTube, but that didn't make it hurt any less. It certainly didn't help that your boyfriend, who you made fairly similar content to, was experiencing such success. This is gonna be so good. It was hard being his girlfriend sometimes. Preach, sister. He was a great boyfriend, there was no mistaking that. But it felt like no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't match him. You couldn't help but feel like you were punching up. Luca had 80.3 thousand subscribers on YouTube, an embarrassing 80k more than you. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Oh no! He was intelligent, as he kept reminding you by flaunting his Stanford degree. No. I don't flaunt my Stanford degree. I do it in ironic jest. And ironic jest is like kind of unexpected, unorthodox, sarcastic jokes. You would know that if you went to Stanford. He had a great sense of humor, even if his jokes drove you insane at times. He was utterly gorgeous. Most of all, he was kind. So he didn't have the privilege of being mad at one flaw amongst his virtues. At every failure with your channel, he'd been reassuring. He'd even offered to make a collab with you at one point, to try to share with you his audience, but you turned him down, wanting to carve an identity beyond just being Luca Levi's girlfriend. You'd waited until you'd gone to the gym before you let yourself cry about it. You were burnt out and needed to get the buildup of emotion out of your system. Once you'd cried for a while though, you felt surprisingly at peace with it. Enough that by the time you came home from his session, the redness around your eyes was mostly gone. You'd set your phone down in another room to stop you from checking your notifications, or rather, lack thereof, and found yourself in the kitchen cooking to distract yourself. You had burgers that were going to go out of date tomorrow, so you'd figure you'd cook them tonight, since you'd be eating out tomorrow for Friday date night. You were focused on losing yourself in the seasoning of the food, so barely even heard Luca come back. You only really realized he'd return when he sat down his bag and came up behind you, wrapping his arms around your waist, and planting an affectionate kiss on your neck. I feel like this situation has never happened, but why is it like weirdly relatable to me right now? Dude, do you know me? Smells good. The food, not you. You smell awful. He joked, peppering a few more kisses along your shoulder to further show he wasn't serious. He never was. I missed you while I was at the gym. Dusha? You added Serbo-Croatian? This is fucking insane. You're not just a published author. You're a researcher, he said, letting go of you to put his gym clothes in the laundry basket. Dusho? You repeated? That's a new one. Oh my lord, dude, I think I'm falling in love with you, actually, right now. It's Italian, he said, with all the seriousness of someone telling you your dog was dead. It was a feeble attempt at gaslighting, of course, since you knew his grasp of Italian didn't extend far beyond Mamma mia, Super Mario! But he was surprisingly good at pretending his Serbian was Italian at times, so it always made you giggle a little. This lore is fucking insane. You're dropping lore from previous videos? For those of you who don't know, when I'm a little drunk, I pretend to know Italian to unsuspecting strangers. It's a really fun time. Once he'd put away the things he'd taken to the gym, he quickly found himself wrapped around you again. For someone who prided himself on nonchalance, he made a show of being remarkably affectionate with you. You uploaded your video today, right? How's it doing? He asked. But when he felt you tense a little in his arms, he knew the answer. Oh, it's okay to be a flop, love. I'm giving it up, Luca. Nobody wants to watch the stuff I'm putting out, and it's soul-crushing watching my stuff flop so dramatically in comparison to yours, you said. Luca looked a little baffled. Love, I'm gonna say this as gently as possible.
But you really can't be getting upset over it. I know it sucks that you're not killing the YouTube game, but also, like, most people flop.
And you knew it wouldn't be easy to do well. He pinched the bridge of his nose for a moment. Why? You like know my tics too, dude. What is going on here? If you're gonna give up on it just because it's not going well right now, then it's probably not for you, my love. There's no shame in that. You're still the same skilled, talented person you'd be if your videos went viral. Then he grinned a little. Besides, why do you need to be successful? You've already got it all. I'm right here. You've got my character down! Should I be proud or worried? This is tough, because I put myself in the mental state of being ready to read this, but now I feel like I'm just living a day that I've never lived before. It's a strange feeling. And also, when do we get to the missionary kissy kiss? That made you smile a little. He was silly at times, but he always seemed to know when to lock in and tell you what you needed to hear without being too intense. You suck, you mumbled, turning your head to kiss him. Bro can never just tell me that I'm the best YouTuber ever and that the people just aren't ready for me. Well, duh. I'm the best YouTuber, stupid. He kept peppering you with kisses to the point it was getting a little distracting and possibly hazardous while you were this close to the stove. Luca, babe, I'm trying to cook, you said in the little pauses between kisses. He rolled his eyes and reached around you, turning off the stove. Leave it. I'll order us pizza with my fat wallet from YouTube money. You couldn't say no to that. Pizza and you got to be smothered in affection? You were living the dream. As you gave up on the food and turned around to face him, he pulled your face towards his and kissed you properly, his nose brushing yours as your lips parted afterwards. Alright, lock back in. This is when we get serious mode. You're so pretty, he whispered against your lips, and you could just feel him grinning. Shush, gorgeous, you whispered. Luca always knew exactly how to distract you from your distress, and you found yourself wrapping your arms around him, kissing him deeper, until he seemed to lift you onto the counter with a practiced ease. Wow, babe, you're like stronger than Gojo, you whispered against his lips. Yeah, that's true. I am pretty jacked, he mumbled back before silencing you with another kiss. His hands became a little more explorative, his fingers slipping under the hem of your t-shirt, his fingertips dancing a ticklish dance against your skin. It was his way of asking for permission to take things further. No. My way of asking for permission is, hey, do you consent to this sexual encounter? And that is how I do it every single time. Or that is how I would do it every single time. You responded by tangling your hands in the soft curls of his hair, trailing kisses along his jaw as he slipped up your shirt. You're so beautiful, Yubavi, he said adoringly, his eyes following the trail of his hands over your body as they traced the well-worn path they'd explored so many times before. Holy shit, it's getting steamy up in this bitch. You seemed to pause for a moment, torn between the loving way he looked at you and the thought that was clearly distracting him. We shouldn't do this on the counter. Kinda gross. It's all I'll be able to think about next time we make food. He turned his head, looking between the couch and the door to the bedroom before making a decision. With ease, he picked you up and started carrying you to the couch. You wrapped both your arms and legs tightly around him for stability, burying your face in his neck and kissing it countless times until he laid you down on the couch, climbing on top of you. Okay. I feel like I'm about to read myself having sex. This is gonna be a strange feeling. Like, more so than the first one. The first one, I was just imagining myself with, like, LeBron James. And now I'm imagining myself, I don't know, from, like, a third person. I don't know why I went on this tangent. Anyway, times like this, you were always mesmerized by him. He looked biblically gorgeous in the golden light of the setting sun shining on him, practically setting his skin aglow and making his gray-blue eyes shimmer like diamonds. They're green, though. He always looked his best when he was on top of you. He gently tapped your hip, getting you to lift up, before setting a cushion under your lower back to support you. Oh my god, I know the lower back pillow technique. I am good, dude. He started unbuttoning his own shirt, leaving you to finish undressing. I'm unbuttoning my shirt after going to the gym? I must have showered at the gym. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Both of you were watching each other with the adoring eyes of two people who loved each other dearly, and in spite of doing this many times before, were still enchanted by each other. Luca found himself trailing kisses down your body, down the curves of your abdomen, to the valley of your thighs. He had the most beautiful eyelashes, something you could only ever notice when he was looking up at you through them. It made sense that he could work wonders with his mouth. Luca spent so much time talking that you'd expect him to be practiced. Every time, though, it still seemed to take you by surprise just how well he could drive you to the edge of losing control, just before stopping. Almost torturously skillful. He always brought you almost to the point of being overwhelmed before he took it all the way. If you didn't finish first, he didn't consider his job done right. Excellent characterization right there. And true. It was only when your thighs were trembling on either side of his head and you were covering your mouth to avoid another noise complaint from your neighbors that he finally lifted his head. He left you shaking and trying to catch your breath. Let's take a break real quick. How are we feeling? Anyone feeling uncomfortable? I hope not. Me? Actually, I'm okay. I'm pretty nonchalant about these things, you know? I'm good at compartmentalizing. Alright, let's continue. He left you shaking and trying to catch your breath while he went to the bedroom and took one of the condoms from the top drawer of the dresser. He came back, rolling it on before climbing on top of you again. He moved your hand away from your mouth and gently kissed you, muffling any sounds you made as he eased into you, slowly at first, so that you could adjust. He held your hips as he moved, groaning softly against your lips. Part 1 of this fanfic and part 2 of this fanfic I feel like are so different. You were wrapped around him, your legs locked around his waist, one hand tangled in his hair. As he increased his pace, the couch cushions were becoming messy under you. They'd need to go in the laundry after this. He tied up the condom and went to put it in the bin. Good, okay, I'm being smart about this, giving you a great view of him walking across the room naked. You had never understood why people thought the statue of David was so impressive when you were blessed with this view daily. Okay, I mean, how do you even know that there's an inside joke with my friends that I'm the statue of David? Unironically, I feel like my friend wrote this, and I feel like I know which one. And actually, I think that it makes a lot of sense.
Oh no!
Luca leaned against the kitchen counter, picking up his phone and unlocking it. You noticed he was crying. Tears of joy, perhaps? An emotional wreck he was, after all this. Right, well, I promised pizza. What pizza do you want? Fiend. Holy shit. What a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, that was intense. That was very intense. I loved it. Well written for sure. No, yeah, published author. Yeah, I can see it. At least in the fanfiction sense. I enjoyed reading both of these fanfictions. I want to know what you guys thought. Also, I see 3 comments here. I feel like we have to read them. Holy cow. Quick note to add, I know that Serbian is written in Cyrillic, but I don't have access to a Cyrillic keyboard, so the couple pet names are translated to Latin alphabet. You know what? You did a great job. And then By Freak says peak fiction. Oh, dude. By Freak, my goat. Yeah, I got you. Definitely giving you another kudos for this one. It's interesting, because I feel like some things that I was doing here, I was actually like, holy fuck, dude. How do people know what I'm like? Is it maybe because I post videos almost every single day on YouTube? No, that couldn't be. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Like I said, we're probably going to pause on the dramatic reading of fanfics in a while, but if you want to see any more videos like this type of video, or any other type, let me know in the comments down below, because everything I do for you. You, Bubby. And for sure, go check out other videos on the channel. We have a whole library of variety content. This is how Hedonist Baron knew so many aspects of lore of my life. It didn't come like this. I share too much. I'm an oversharer. I'm a talker. That's why I'm so good with my mouth. Until next time, I love you. For real. Goodbye.